Perhaps more than any other state, Virginia boasts a wealth of historical sites, ranging from the first permanent English settlement at Jamestown to the house where Robert E. Lee signed surrender papers at Appomattox, thus ending the Civil War. Whether it's famous battles, buildings, or men who impacted America's history over the past several hundred years, Virginia offers something for every lover of history. Particularly for the colonial and Revolutionary War period, Virginia offers some fascinating public historical sites. One of the most interesting is Poplar Forest. The site is not only a very fascinating historical place, but it's also valuable because of the practical teaching experiences it offers about one of the most famous founding fathers. Most people like myself have never heard of Poplar Forest, but rather of the magnificent little mountain of Monticello. However, both were built by the same man, founding father, author of the Declaration of Independence, statesman, diplomat, president, farmer, musician, inventor, and architect Thomas Jefferson. According to the official historical website, Thomas Jefferson and his wife Martha inherited the Bedford County plantation known as Poplar Forest from her father in 1773. The property's name, which predates Jefferson's ownership, reflects the forest that once grew there. And you can still see some remnants of the beautiful poplar trees on the property today. Although he spent relatively little time at Poplar Forest before his presidency, this place did play an important role in the history of the American Revolution in protecting him and his family. As chief architect of the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson was considered in high treason by the British Crown and would have been executed if found. Forced to flee Monticello in 1781 to elude British capture, Jefferson and his family spent 2 months at Poplar Forest. According to the official website, historical website, it was during this time that Jefferson compiled much of the material for his only book, Notes on the State of Virginia. The lasting significance in rural Poplar Forest played in Jefferson's life, however, did not come until the years after his presidency. According to Travis McDonald, the director of architectural restoration at Poplar Forest, Jefferson began building this beautiful miniature version of Monticello in 1806 as a retreat and began coming regularly in 1809 when he finished his presidency. He came often to this sanctuary during the next 14 years, and it was his most intimate place during his retirement from public life. Travis McDonald again states that Poplar Forest is a very special place in terms of filling in the gaps about we know of Jefferson and his retirement. From the property itself, as well as personal items in the home and letters Jefferson wrote, we gain an invaluable knowledge of Jefferson as the Renaissance man he continued to be, even after all of his many public accomplishments. In learning about Poplar Forest, we find a much more personal Jefferson who, like Washington, considered himself to be really just a farmer and loved to experiment with all kinds of farming and agricultural techniques, as well as with architectural and scientific inventions, a lover of culture and progress. Poplar Forest also provides significant insight into Jefferson's personal architectural accomplishments, as well as a rich learning experience of how strongly ancient architecture and culture influenced founding fathers like Jefferson. Poplar Forest is a stunning example of American neoclassicism with its many elaborate pillars, the round dome, its porticos, etc. The architecture and accommodations of Poplar Forest also reflect the impact that French culture made on Jefferson during his diplomat years and the cultural connections he formed with America's Revolutionary War ally. Poplar Forest design is also a perfect example of the modern man Jefferson was and how he applied his unique creativeness and affinity for mathematical symmetry. According to the article, Learn About the Historic Restoration of Poplar Forest, Jefferson's sanctuary retreat home may have been the first of its kind to have been built in the United States, with its octagon shape and its extremely precise mathematical foundations and layout of the rooms. It shares many similarities to Monticello. However, with Poplar Forest, Jefferson was able to implement all of his personal architectural tastes and creative ideas, which were very, in a way, unique for the time. Poplar Forest provides an invaluable historical experience to those wishing to know Thomas Jefferson on a deeper personal level, and truly fills in the gaps for helping us understand the many influences and important values that he put into his retreat home and how he spent his retirement years.